Welcome to our March 23rd, 2026, 5 o'clock regular meeting. We will call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock p.m. I will establish quorum. We have Carlin Fryer, Sarah Falconberry, Dallas Pipes, Dr. Kristen Kraft, myself, Courtney Daughter Bruce, Rich Senna, and Garrett Wilson. And at this time, we will move to closed session to discuss A, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, deliberation regarding matters related to employment, appointments, resignations, terminations, retirements, and reassignments. B, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0821, deliberation of personally identifiable information about a public school student. C, pursuant to Texas Code 551.072, discussion of purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. And lastly, D, pursuant to Texas Code 551.074, discussion of board member roles and responsibilities. So with that being said, at 5:01 p.m., we will head to closed session.
Nice.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our March 23rd, 2026 regularly scheduled board meeting. We are reconvening from closed session to open session here at 6:33 p.m. We will reestablish quorum. We have 100% of our board members here, along with our superintendent, Dr. Kraft. So thank you for being with us. And at this time, I will turn it over to Ms. Reyna.
Good evening. At this time, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Bernie ISD Junior ROTC Color Guard. Please join our students from Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary as they lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. Please remain standing for a moment of silence and prayer. Thank you, and please be seated. Madam President and trustees, our students from Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary have some great questions for you this evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Can you please tell us your name?
Hi, my name is Felix Cardenas, and I'm from Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary. I am in 5th grade, and I'm the vice president for the student council. Since I am moving into middle school, I am wondering, what improvements or changes are being planned for the schools in Bernie ISD?
Going to
Voss.
Going to Voss?
Yes.
Would you like me, Sarah?
So to think of the big picture, so at the administrative level, we think big picture about middle schools, and so I will share that Bernie Middle School South is going to be seeing some renovations in their fine arts area and their cafeteria serving lines and some of the classrooms behind the stage. And, you know, this will be your first year at middle school. Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay, did you already pick all your classes?
Yeah.
Have your parents seen them?
I
Okay, if they haven't, there's a way for you guys to look at that. But we're really excited that parents, secondary level parents, have been able to see the schedules that their children submitted in Skyward, and we can get more information out to parents to look at that. But we're excited for what you're going to encounter in middle school. And then I would share that our middle school principals and all of our principals actually are in the middle of all their planning for next school year. So you can be on the lookout for communication coming from your middle school principal. Because even though we have 3 middle schools and they follow the same curriculum and scope and sequence, you know, there's unique things at each of our middle schools.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Aria. I'm also from Fair Oaks Elementary, and I'm the secretary of my student council. And my question for you today is, what is the hardest decision the board has had to make recently?
Well, I've been on the board for 3 years. This is my 3rd year. And I think three of the hardest things that I've had to do so far is name a school, rezone schools for different attendance zones, and something that was very difficult but also rewarding was hiring our superintendent. So whenever you think about naming a school, like Viola Wilson or the Mitchell Learning Center, we have so many great families in our town, and we get so many great stories and recommendations, and it's so hard for us to really choose something that'll have that lasting legacy and impact, you know, for years and years to come.
Thank you.
What do you do as secretary, you said?
So I take attendance and I write the notes of what we talk about in each meeting.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Claire Momberg, and I'm the president of Student Council. And my question is, how is the district continuing to prepare students for college, jobs, and real-world skills?
Claire, that's an excellent question. About 12 years ago, the Texas legislature passed House Bill 5, which required school districts to offer more study paths in high school, to really focus on more career and technical education. A district our size, a typical district our size, has 5 different pathways. We've got 12. So we go way beyond what the normal district our size does. And we also instituted a P-TECH program at both schools. That's Pathway Technology, Early College, High School. Health Careers is at Bernie, and cybersecurity is a champion. And of course, kids from either school can access the program for P-TECH at the other school where they're not necessarily zoned for. So there's a lot we do, and I know we're not done yet. Dr. Kraft had a team of people visit school districts across the state to see what programs they've got and how we could supplement what we're doing already. How do we prioritize that? How do we find room in the budget to be able to do that? So there's some exciting things already, but we're never satisfied.
Thank you.
I'd like to add on to that, actually. It's me over here.
Oh, hi.
And that kind of goes into the middle school, the question he asked about our middle schools. If we're bringing in some of those, the preparing for college and jobs into our middle school. So in middle school, in 7th and I forget exactly, but there you'll get exposed to some of the opportunities that are available in high school. So we're bringing it down to the younger grades. So you get your exposure earlier, so they help you decide which pathways you may want to choose in life or which pathways you don't want to choose. So just getting that exposure at an early age is something our district is really, I feel like, really improved on in the past several years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Kraft, do you know the statistic of the increase in industry-based certifications that our students have had over the last few years?
The pop quiz. I'd have to look it up on my phone, but it's significant.
Well, it was almost 20% this year alone, but I don't know what it is over the last 5 years. It's gone way up. And that's a certification that a student has that they're conversant and equipped to take on a job in that particular field.
Hello, I'm Vikasni Venkatesh, and I'm in fifth grade, and I'm the student council's historian. And my question is, what does the district do to make schools more inclusive and welcoming for all students?
Can I take this one?
Sure.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. I love your question, actually. We were just talking about just some of the aspects of that earlier in our closed session. One of the things that we talk about all the time, actually, is how amazing our SROs are. And so I feel like students feel like they are a part of a family because they feel safe. When you feel included in something, it's just, I think safety plays a big part of feeling included and feeling seen. And we really focus on making sure that every child feels seen every day. And one of the things that I wrote down are the invested teachers, too. We have so many amazing teachers that really want you to feel included. So when you get to go to your classes, a lot of the teachers step outside and welcome you in and really just make you feel included. And it's this family engaging culture that I think Bernie ISD is so great about, just making you feel included. So, but I think safety in my mind is like top priority. And I think that makes students feel like they can go to school and feel included because they feel safe and they feel seen. Thank you for your question.
You're
Did you
welcome.
guys, are y'all all in fifth grade?
Yes.
Did y'all all go to BOA this year?
Yes.
You felt that was pretty inclusive and welcoming and fun?
Yes.
Yeah? Was that a cool experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son he's in fifth grade and he just had an awesome time. And really that whole group of fifth graders, I think, became a lot closer, going into sixth grade and going to that next step at junior high. So to me, that was a really cool way that the district includes everyone. So.
And another thing y'all can look forward to when you're about to enter high school is Fish Camp. So Fish Camp is a day where you get to go as the summer before your freshman year, and you have all the high school students there and the band and the cheerleaders, and they all just welcome you to high school, and they give you a tour, and you get to go in the big auditorium. So that's another really inclusive, welcoming tradition that you get to look forward to.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gunnar Engstrand. I'm in fifth grade and I go to Fair Oaks Elementary. And my question is, what do you believe improves a student's learning in school?
Can I take this one?
I can take that one because actually I think the answers from the last question are very, very much answer this one as well. So a student that's engaged in their campus is a student who is going to be a better learner, right? You know your teachers know you, your administration knows, you're part of the leadership of your campus by being in student council. Anytime you are that engaged and you help others become engaged, it overall improves the education in that campus. So what you guys are doing is phenomenal.
I think also just the appreciation of learning. If you look back at the last 200 or 300 years, just the amazing knowledge that we have that we didn't have just 200 or 300 years ago, that the human race didn't have, right? And math and science and just the stuff we get to learn these days, and being curious and going and finding that and seeking it out and learning it on your own, even if your teacher's not telling it to you. I think that curiosity is something that's really important, and it'll take you a long ways.
Great question. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Let's give our students a round of applause. At this time, I'd like to invite Madam President, our trustees, and Dr. Kraft to join me on the floor for our commendations. We're excited to celebrate several outstanding students and staff this evening, and we'd love for you to stay until the end so every honoree feels that Bernie love and support. Thanks for being here tonight to help us honor them. Alrighty, for our first commendation, we proudly recognize Bernie High School swimmer Lauren Summers for her outstanding achievement as a state qualifier in the 100 breaststroke. This accomplishment reflects her dedication, discipline, and commitment to excellence. We're incredibly proud of you. And I think if I'm correct, are you headed to UT? Is that right? Are you headed to UT? Did you say? I thought so. Oh, okay. I thought someone told me that. I guess they were wrong. All right, let's give her a big round of applause. Next up is Champion High School student Cole McGowan on his creative achievement in producing the film To Touch and to Feel. His work was recognized an official selection of the San Antonio Contemporary Art Student Film Festival, reflecting both his artistic vision and dedication to excellence in filmmaking. Let's give him a big round of applause.
All right. Next up, we proudly commend Yvette Reyna, Executive Director of Community Engagement, for her photography submissions to the annual Texas School Public Relations Association Awards Program. Through her creativity and eye for storytelling, Burning ISD was honored with 2 Silver Star Awards and 2 Bronze Star Awards.
Thank you. All right. Next up is Fabra Elementary and Viola Wilson Elementary as early act clubs. They teamed up for a friendly competition and collected over 5,000 cups of mac and cheese for blessings in a backpack. Fabra came out on top, and for a fun twist, Principal Adiolis got to pie Principal Sanders at a recent early act club meeting. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Congrats to the Bernie Middle School South students that competed in the Texas Thespian Junior Festival. These talented performers were named as national qualifiers in the following categories: duet acting and duet musical. Your hard work, dedication, and creativity continue to make our school community shine. Congratulations to all of our students. Let's give them another big round of applause. Next up, our Champion High School art students participated in the Region 20 Visual Art Scholastic event. An impressive 80 pieces of artwork earned a rating of excellent, garnering regional medals and all region artist honors. Adding to this achievement, 7 CHS artists who earned area medals have advanced as state finalists to the upcoming state competition next month. Congratulations to our incredible artists. Let's give them one more big round of applause. Champion High School Charms varsity officers are state champions. In addition, their team earned second place at the Texas State Dance and Drill Team Championships. Congrats to all of these incredible young women for their dedication, talent, and commitment to excellence. Let's give them a big round of applause. Our second cohort of Language Essentials teachers of reading and spelling completed their 2-year journey of professional learning in the science of teaching, and 4 in-district trainers of teachers have completed their first official cohort of letters. Congrats, we are so proud of all of you. Congratulations to all of you. For our final commendation for this evening, we'd like to invite a member of the Fair Oaks Ranch Rotary to the floor for check presentation.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm Will Winslet. I'm with Fair Oaks Ranch Rotary. Tonight, I'd like to call up individuals all at once. So if y'all start making your way forward, SRO Rick Goodrich, you'll come forward with the security office. Incubator Club, Jennifer Brewer, Coach Jennifer. We got the Rotary Internet Club Student President Hayden Avendano. We have the librarian for the Fair Oaks Elementary School. That'd be Kathleen Smith. And Van Rob, Nikki Polk. Also, a special thanks to Lisa Weems and Jaime for putting all this together, and also to Kristen. I know you're excited because your Iowa teams won over the weekend, beat our SEC people. But anyway, let's see. We have over $15,000 that the Rotary Club has given this year to the BISD or scholarships. So.
Let's give all our recipients a round of applause. All right, Madam President, trustees, and Dr. Kraft, it is our honor to recognize this month's Core Values in Action recipient. We are proud to recognize Lisa Weaver for exemplifying Bernie ISD's core value every child, every day. Our Chief of Finance, Wes Scott, will share a few words with you about her.
Okay. Lotta Buck, our child nutrition liaison, wrote that Lisa's an exceptional district employee who embodies every core value at Bernie ISD. She goes above and beyond, making sure every child at any of her campuses gets quality meals and excellent customer service. Lisa often volunteers to help with the catered events within the community also. We're very proud of having Lisa on our child nutrition team. She is knowledgeable, kind, courteous, and always has a great attitude. I would add that what I heard in that, I would emphasize the word campuses. She takes care of the kids at North. She takes care of the kids at DAP. She takes care of the kids at Mitchell Learning Center. So she's always running around being sure all our kids are well taken care of, and we're very thankful for that.
Let's give Lisa one more round of applause. This concludes our commendations for this evening. Madam President, trustees, and Dr. Kraft, could you please make your way back to your seats behind the dais? Tonight's Bernie Education Foundation Wow Moment takes us to Kendall Elementary, home of the Knights. Thanks to a BF grant, students are taking creativity to new heights by designing and flying their very own kites. Take a look at your screen.
Hi, my name is Landry. Welcome to Kendall Elementary. Today's wow moment will be in Mrs. Williams' classroom where the students are learning to make kites.
Today, because of the BEF grant, we were able to implement the read aloud along with the activity of kite flying. And so right now they are currently flying their kites that they created. And the whole prompt was to create with different things that make them unique and special, because that's something that in our classroom and just at Kendall we value a lot, is just their creativity, but also just every student is valuable and different and unique. And so they were able to express that with the kite activity. This is definitely a game changer to learning, just being able to have fun and be able to learn through doing. I think in the elementary levels with the little ones, that's how they learn best and how they can grasp concepts the best. I think it means a lot to them to be able to just engage in something that they've never done before, and be able to carry it out in the future and just show their families and be able to incorporate activities at home as well. Thank you to all the donors and supporters for everything that you are helping us achieve here at Kendall Elementary, for our teachers and for our students.
Thank you for supporting every student, every teacher, and every school in Bernie ISD.
Thank you, Ms. Rainier. Okay, next up we have visitor comments and testimonials. The board encourages comments about the district from citizens of the district or from district employees. Anyone wishing to speak either as an individual or as a representative of a group may do so at this time. The board asks that each participant's comments pertain to public education and be no longer than 3 minutes. Remember that the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on our agenda. If an issue mentioned is listed on tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion of the issue until the appropriate time during the meeting. The board encourages the public to discuss concerns with an appropriate administrator who has the authority to address the concerns. Concerns should be expressed as soon as possible to allow early resolution at the lowest possible administrative level. Finally, please be aware that the rules of decorum will be enforced during the public comment period and throughout the meeting. Disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. Those who choose to engage in disruptive behavior may be asked to leave. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own statements. Copies of our district policies can be found on our website. We have three public comment speakers that have signed up, and the first one is Drew Bird.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Drew Bird, and I am a junior, and I am the current president of Skills USA / AIS Architecture Club at both CHS and BHS. It is my privilege to speak to you tonight representing our organization. Skills USA is a United States career and technical student organization serving more than 400,000 high school and college students, focusing on trade, technical, and skilled service occupations. As of recently, we have incorporated with the American Institute of Architectural Students, also known as AIAS. We focus on best practices in the workplace, creativity on the job, problem solving, learning from guest speakers, and giving to others through community service. We have guest speakers such as local architect Ben Adams and local interior design firm Gardner Homes. And through our meetings, we exercise the technical skills required to become an architect or interior designer. All of our members have a service project requirement in order to promote a sense of community and help those in need. We offer our members access to the TAMU Architecture Club, Ball State Interior Design Summer Camp, hundreds of scholarships through We Go Public and Skills USA, and architecture competitions through Skills USA and AIAS. Our membership is composed of students from both Bernie High School and Champion High School, of which 35% are freshmen, 25% are sophomores, 32% are juniors, and 8% are seniors. We have been an organized club since 2020. Our membership has grown from just 12 members to 60 members over the past 2 years. Our club sponsor is Miss Jan Haney, architecture and design teacher at Champion High School. And special thanks goes to Lenise Graves, founder and architectural design teacher, for her immense support of the organization. Thank you for your time and support of our organization.
Thank you very much. Up next, we have Isabella Stutter.
Good evening. My name is Isabella Studer, and I am the president of FCCLA, the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. For those who aren't familiar, FCCLA is a national organization for students in family and consumer science education. It focuses on developing skills for life through character development, creative and critical thinking, interpersonal communication, practical knowledge, and vocational preparation. I am honored to be speaking on behalf of my organization tonight as I tell you about what we have done so far this year. Throughout the school year, our chapter has served the Kendall County Women's Shelter, Hill Country Daily Bread, Blessings in a Backpack, local nursing homes, Charming Pet Rescue, and a multitude of other nonprofits in various food drives, clothing drives, and in-person service. Both our annual traditions of collecting canned donations from the Country Bend neighborhood and our Valentine's pies for Champion staff and BISD staff were also a huge success. During the month of February, our chapter participated in our annual National FCCLA Week, which focuses on highlighting the impact of family and consumer science education. Our national program and focus for this year was Student Body, in which we advocated for healthier habits and lifestyles for high school students throughout the week. This year, our FCCLA chapter was awarded the News Across Texas Award, which is the highest award a chapter can receive. Out of all the regional chapters, we ranked first in our membership recruitment, service, and chapter events. In addition, our members were also exceptional at our regional competitions, in which we brought home a gold and silver medal. All of this would not be possible without your support. On behalf of FCCLA, I would like to thank you for your continued dedication to our organization. It is because of you that we are able to serve our school and community so well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Miss Kelly Cole.
Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Kraft and Board of Trustees. It's great to be here tonight, and I want to thank all of you for everything that you do to make our district so outstanding. My name is Kelly Cool, and I am the program director for LifeWise, which is a program that is coming to Bernie schools this fall. LifeWise is a national nonprofit ministry that provides release time for religious instruction during school hours. You may wonder how this is legal with the separation of church and state, but it is in fact legal and has been for over 70 years. In 1952, the Supreme Court ruled that release time for religious instruction is legal if it meets 3 criteria. It must be off-school property, privately funded, and parent permitted. Additionally, Senate Bill 1049 codified this legislation for the state of Texas this past September. The LifeWise curriculum teaches foundational Christian truths and character development skills to students through Bible stories. So how exactly does it work within the school day? Students whose parents have enrolled them will attend LifeWise classes once a week. I will work directly with school principals to determine the scheduling, and it usually rotates with specials, and students will never miss a core class. Students are picked up by the LifeWise bus, transported to a host site within 5 minutes from the school, participate in the lesson, and then they're transported safely back to school. Every LifeWise elementary class has 1 teacher and 2 adult volunteers who have all been background checked and are thoroughly vetted. We plan to launch in 2 elementary schools this fall and then expand with the goal of offering LifeWise on all of our school campuses from 1st through 12th grade within the next few years. So why are we doing this? What are the benefits? Well, as a Christian ministry, we believe that the good news of Jesus Christ changes lives and provides hope like nothing else can. But there are also additional benefits. Research shows that students who participate in religious activities, including release time programs, have higher attendance rates, lower rates of in and out of school suspensions. They are less likely to use alcohol and drugs and other at-risk behaviors. They have lower rates of depression, higher academic performance, and stronger family and community involvement. In short, not only will our Bernie students receive the highest level of academic instruction, but they will also have the opportunity to grow spiritually and learn that they have value, purpose, and hope because they have a God who loves them. Together, we'll be meeting the needs of the whole child, intellectually, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you. And I've put together a folder, right on time. I've put together a folder for each of you with more information, and it has my contact information if you have any questions or would like to reach out to me. How would be the best way to distribute those folders? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Okay, board, next we have consider action, if any, regarding items discussed in closed session. First, we have requests for approval of routine personnel items.
I move the Board of Trustees approve the personnel report as discussed in closed session.
A motion by Carlin Fryer. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second by Sarah Falconberry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I would entertain a motion to approve consent agenda if no discussion is needed.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Carlin Fryer, second by Garrett Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, we have governance. So we will start with board member reports. Garrett, are you ready to start? Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Just excited to talk about program evaluation. Another good meeting, as usual. Thank you, Ms. Flores, and everybody who's there. We covered a lot of ground. I'll just go through the notes here. There was a lot of good materials. Since 2019, our partnership with the Center for Model Schools has strengthened instructional practice district-wide. This year, all 8 of our elementary campuses focused on second grade writing through collaborative instructional rounds, grounded in the rigor and relevance framework. So the teachers got together and did a lot of collaborative peer editing and different collaborative activities and revising work and that sort of thing. So that was a really fun exercise, I think, for all the second grade teachers, sounds like. And then Also, this year, we had the middle school advanced coursework and alignment to college readiness. So we've been going through the practice or the exercise of making all of our classes, whether they were advanced or on level, have clear delineations and what that means for each one. And so what ended up happening is that we raised rigor and expectation for all students, but we've also clarified advanced pathways while strengthening our core curriculum in general. And so I think that'll be really helpful. This also lays the foundation for college-ready success, particularly in preparation for TSIA performance, and then developing strong readers, thinkers, and writers. And then also CCMR, the class of 27 and beyond. The committee also received an update on potential changes to CCMR accountability that could impact the class of 2027. The Texas Education Agency is expected to make decisions this summer regarding which college prep courses will qualify as approved indicators for CCMR, which may affect future accountability calculations and program planning. So those are kind of the main things we discussed. And that's all I had.
Thank you. Thank you, Garrett.
Okay, legislative update. As you know, we passed prior to the 89th session of the legislature our 4 legislative priorities, and I'll review it briefly and share how we did. You know, one was to increase the basic allotment to keep up with inflation. Funding formulas at the state level had not changed since 2019. We've had 22% inflation since that time. So obviously, that puts stress on a lot of school districts across the state. We had to stretch the dollar, but it was getting increasingly difficult. So that was one priority. The second one was honor the profession. And I'm going to read this because this is important. Teaching is an honorable profession worthy of improved compensation. Sadly, Texas teachers earn an average of $7,500 less than the national average. Our teachers work hard and have had a tremendous impact in producing the highest 4-year high school graduation rate of any mid-sized or large district, and are responsible for teaching all those enroll, including those with challenging educational disabilities. So the ask was that we called on the legislature to create a permanent teacher retention allotment to help recruit and retain quality teachers who serve 5.5 million Texas school children. And as you know, Christy and I organized a trip that most of you were on last January. We had 36 community volunteers. We had folks from Comfort, Blanco ISDs, and they were trained on what to share with all 181 state senators and state reps, mostly staff we met with, but we met with about 40 legislators themselves. And several of us testified in behalf of that retention allotment, and we're very happy that the legislature passed that, a state-funded retention allotment for our teachers. They kept talking about how it's important to pay them. Well, if you think it's important, then come up with the money. And then the third one was increasing financial support for school safety. The state has increasingly placed mandates on local districts regarding what was required of a safety purpose. Prior to the 89th session, the state aid that we got covered about 20% of our costs. They doubled the allotment, so now it covers, maybe closer to 40%. So that was progress. And then, of course, as we have for the last several sessions, we've advocated for property tax relief. And as you know, our tax rate's gone down about 25% over the past 6 years. Now, this is extremely difficult to see. There's a lot of numbers, so I really won't spend a lot of time going through it. But this is the result on the pay scales that Jill, put together. I added a few columns with what the starting pay scale was at the various years of experience. And you'll see on the left-hand side, the 24-25 school year, you'll see the 25-26 school year, and the resultant increase. And the increase in the starting pay at that level ranges from a low of 8.8% for a beginning teacher to a high of 11.2% for a 25-year teacher. The average is right around 10, and that's the increase. Much of that was funded by the state, but the rest was funded by the Vader. You will see In the fourth column from the right, the increase that came about due to the Vader, and there were some years where it was as low as $500, but the average was was about $1,700 across the board of 40 years experience. And then you will see smack in the middle the amount that was budgeted for TRS contributions for healthcare in our budget that we adopted in June of 25. It was $264 annually. And as you know, the premiums went up substantially for our staff. Now, not everyone's on the TRS active care system, but I would say 75 to 80% of our staff is, and probably 85 to 90% of our teachers are under that plan. Well, the Vader also gave an additional $456 a year in contributions towards healthcare costs. So that is a form of compensation. So if you add in the raise from the Vader plus the TRS contribution, you will see in the second column from the right the total impact for that year of experience in our district, what it was. And the average came to $2,188. If you exclude the benefits increase, it's $1,700 plus. So this, I thought it was important. We shared this with the PTO leaders the other morning, and they were pleased to see this because, you know, you see a lot of stuff on social media, and quite often it's really not accurate. So it's important that we get this information out. So wanted to share it with you guys tonight. So whether it's a function of the legislative priorities, a lot of progress. In this last chart, another numbers chart, I will just say that the increase in TRS premiums is close to $2 million over the last decade. That's how much healthcare benefits have increased for our employees. The district has picked up $1,750,000 of that, or 87%. So 87% of the increase has been picked up by the school district in an effort to keep benefits for our employees affordable. It is very expensive to cover your entire family or to cover your spouse. That's very, very true. And we are one of the few districts, and I think Jill would agree with this. I'm looking at you, and you can nod your head if what I'm about to say is accurate. We're one of the few districts that actually contributes more for dependents. Not a ton more, but it's more. And so we try to do what we can to make it affordable, or more affordable, I should say. So it's just an update on what happened in the legislative session, but also as a result of the decision the board made to put it before the voters in November.
Thank you, Mr. Senna. Courtney, you don't have anything for us? Okay. I attended the Bond Oversight Committee on February 19th, and Miss Nikki Marone from Alamo Architects presented the schematic design for the Bernie Middle School South building renovations, outlining a phased approach that includes accessibility upgrades, interior acoustic and lighting improvements, classroom and fine arts enhancements, targeted restroom and serving line updates. The presentation included before and after renderings of key instructional spaces such as orchestra, band hall, theater flex, STEM, and robotics areas, along with optional corridor and acoustic door improvements. The proposed work is planned in 3 phases with construction sequencing designed to minimize campus disruption. Mr. Romero provided an update on the 2022 bond program status, reporting that the majority of the projects are complete. And last but not least, Mr. Romero informed the committee that VLK will conduct a comprehensive assessment of all Bernie ISD facilities to develop a prioritized list of items requiring immediate repair or replacement, as well as items to be monitored for future maintenance needs. The PTO presidents met on Friday, March 20th. They were able to hear district updates from Dr. Kraft, the legislative update from Mr. Senna, a demographic update from Dr. O'Hare, and Ms. Pomeroy was in attendance and talked about the Family U videos to educate parents. We briefly discussed senior walks, which are scheduled for May 18th, and we will have our last meeting on April 10th. Mr. Dow, Mr. Pikes? Okay. Ms. Falconberry? Mr. Fryer?
I'm going to do a recap of the Board Finance Committee that met on March the 18th. We We really had four main topics. The first of those was a discussion about taxpayers who are over 65 who pay zero. Mr. Scott presented to the committee data showing an increase in taxpayers over 65 qualifying for the $0 exemption in Bernie ISD. That number rose from 1,642 in 2024 to 2,501 in 2025. And then the financial impact that this can have under current legislation. The second item we talked about was state funding update, including golden pennies in the summary of finance. The committee reviewed the district's state funding position related to the frozen hold harmless provision for taxpayers over 65. On March 6th, Texas Education Agency announced a revised methodology and calculations resulting in improved funding position for our district. Third item was our 2025 to 2026 budget to actual update. The committee reviewed the March 2026 general fund budget amendment and current year financial reports that Mr. Scott will go over later. Revenues and expenditures are trending as expected, and the district's financial position remains strong. And our last item was the 2026-2027 enrollment projections. After reviewing current trends and demographer projections, the district has adopted a conservative approach to enrollment planning by using low-end projections with adjustments to be made as additional data becomes available.
Thank you. Anybody else on reports? Okay, we'll head to reports and hear Dr. Kraft's district updates.
All right, thank you. Great to see everybody for our March board meeting. I like to give an update on our enrollment. We're at 11,169 as of the reports from last week. I would like to recognize our aspiring leaders who are in the audience. If you want to give a wave, thank y'all for being here. We truly believe in growing our talent from within, and so we're really excited that we have such a strong group of aspiring leaders that are ready for their next challenges and appreciate, this must be one of their learning objectives, is to attend a board meeting. And happy to debrief with you at your next meeting if you're so inclined. So again, as Mr. Fryer mentioned, at our March budget workshop, the demographers presented a very thorough report, and we have since posted the full report online. There's a lot of great information in there by subdivisions and just all kinds of numbers and data. And so I've already shared that with many of our partners. The City of Bernie likes to see that. The Chamber of Commerce and the Kendall County Economic Development Council loves to see those reports. So I've shared all the links with them so they can use it in their positions. Last week we had a dyslexia family night. It was very well attended and another great experience for our parents to come together, understand what it means when your child may be facing dyslexia. But one of the highlights of the evening was our student panel. And so to hear from our students, just their perspective and insight was very valuable. And thanks to Ms. Pomeroy and Annie Sider and all the folks who had a hand in planning such a strong event. And then also our health science P-Tech team at Bernie High School. They recently hosted some visitors from an area district in the San Antonio area, and they were raving about everything that they learned. As Mr. Wilson shared, the group from Northeast ISD was very impressed by what they saw, said it was a very thorough, comprehensive visit, and they learned so much when they think about programming models that they're considering in the future. So a great opportunity to, again, showcase our students, showcase our teachers, and to, again, just share with the greater community about what makes Bernie ISD so special. And then tonight, you'll be hearing presentations on special education and the House Bill 3 board goals in the areas of grade 3 math, reading, and then CCMR. And as a reminder, whenever we go to Team of 8 training and you hear about ISO, ISO stands for Evaluating and Improving Student Outcomes. And in our training, and some of us were at Tapatio just a few weekends ago, they reference the board goals. And so just connecting the dots, tonight you're going to see the data that our principals use to set their board goals, and every board in the state of Texas is required to set these goals in third grade reading at the MEETS level, and then CCMR. And so then we will be publishing these online. But our schools, our teachers, and our leaders look at all kinds of data points. And so when you hear the report, just keep in mind the data for third grade are based on third graders taking the START test for the first time, and all the data that they're using when you hear Ms. Flores come to the microphone and share the progress reports for beginning of year in the middle of the year, and the assessments that a kindergartner takes, a first grader takes, and a second grader takes. All of that is data that informs instruction as we prepare for third grade. So just giving you a little context there. And then looking ahead, I'm pleased to share that I'll be serving on a roundtable discussion tomorrow hosted at A4LE in the San Antonio region. That's a group that comes together, lots of architects and operations folks, really design centered around learning environments with educational outcomes. So I'll be serving on a panel there and attending with Mr. Guerrero. Our next budget workshop takes place March 6th, and Ms. Flores will have prime time with that topic as we give updates on teaching and learning for the next school year. And then I would like to personally thank our counselors and our staff, everyone who is assisting students and parents with the course selection process. I know some of you are high school parents, or some of you will be getting there very soon, but it's a huge feat when our middle school and high school students are selecting their courses. Our counselors, led by Ms. Pomeroy, have provided many, many opportunities for parents to get one-on-one assistance. And as you heard tonight, our parents do have a chance to go on and log into Skyward and see the courses that their children picked. And so all of that is really important work right now, because as soon as it's handed over to the master schedulers, we want them to have a really good, clean data set that they can be building the master schedule, and that limits or that all those opportunities help us to get the schedule as clean as possible with minimal class changes. So this time is really important. And let's see, and again, you saw tonight our amazing students. Last month we had some CTE FFA students speak, and tonight you heard from another program of students. So much to be proud of in Boerne ISD. That concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Very impressive that each one of our high school students has a chance to meet one-on-one with a counselor while they're making their schedules. It's really special.
Well, and in addition, they let the parents meet one-on-one, which I thought was amazing. So thank you. I have a high school and a middle schooler, so it was great to have that opportunity as well.
Absolutely. Okay, next we have Student Support Services Special Education Report. Miss Annie Sider.
Good evening, Madam President, school board members, and Dr. Kraft. Tonight I'll cover special education updates. These are our Boerne ISD long-term strategic goals. We focus on 4 areas. Our main focus that we focus on is student success. We want to make sure all students succeed and make progress. We are a student-centered district. Everything we do ties back to our students. Through our specially designed services that we provide to our students with special needs, we are directly influencing outcomes and achievements. This evening, I'll be covering 4 main areas. We'll start with our program data, move on to our TEE monitoring and cyclical review, and then go to our continuum of services. And then we'll wrap up with our community connections to include our business partners and agencies. This graph depicts special education identification is continuing to increase. The enrollment percentage of all students trend decreases in the 2021 school year. You can see the drop on the top graph. However, our percentage of special education students does not drop or decrease, but continues to grow at a steady pace. We have special education enrollment trends. The graph depicts Boerne ISD special education population in comparison to our state growth for special education. You will see Boerne ISD's growth runs slightly tighter or higher. If you look at the bar graph here, it covers specific learning disabilities. It starts with 342 kids, grows over 602 kids in the 5-year span up to 944. The increased growth in this bar graph is due to dyslexia, which falls under a specific learning disability. This is our graph on dyslexia. The graph covers BISD's growth in dyslexia over the past 5 years. We currently have 384 students in 504 that qualify for dyslexia and 801 students in special education that qualify for dyslexia. Growth in dyslexia population is due to the shift on how the Texas Education Agency addresses dyslexia. If a student needs dyslexia intervention, which is known as specially designed instruction, they will fall under special education for services. This graph displays the number of Bernie ISD students who have been identified over the past 5 years in the areas of autism, speech, and intellectual disability. You can see in these 3 eligibilities, we have a slight increase or decrease over the 5 years. BISD is 100% compliant with TEA monitoring and cyclical review. The 4 main areas that are used to determine a district's status are our results-driven accountability, RDA. We have met that requirement. Monitoring activities, there's a random sampling of our documents, and we're 100% compliant there. We have a policy review of special education operating guidelines, which are located on our legal framework, and we have met that requirement. And there's a stakeholder survey that went out that TEA has noted that we had exceptional parent and staff participation rate. BISD offers a full range of services on all campuses throughout the district. This provides students the opportunity to attend their home campus with their siblings and neighborhood friends. Bernie ISD Transitional Life Skills Program, our 18+. In order to receive these services, students must meet all 4 criteria. They have to qualify for special education services, be 18 to 21 years of age, have completed all their high school graduation requirements, and the students have to have received modified curriculum during their high school career. Our 18+ program focuses on 4 main areas: independent living, such as housekeeping and transportation; self-advocacy. The goal is for our students to learn to advocate for themselves; vocational, exploring students' interests and careers; and we also set up the PAYS Lab, a practical assessment exploration system, hands-on learning to assess real-world skills. And this is all located at our 18+ center at the Mitchell Learning Center. We partner with community businesses where our students receive hands-on training. The students explore their skill sets in the workforce and interest for future jobs. We also connect with Hill Country Daily Bread to provide volunteer work. Bernie ISD has partnered with the ARC of San Antonio, which has provided multiple resources for families, for funding sources, summer camps, and access to equipment. We have continued our ongoing partnership with Believe It Bikes Foundation, who have provided us 13 adaptive bikes over the past years. To sum this all up, in everything we do, it ties right back to our 4 core values. It's important to make sure we provide access to each individual student's needs, that we continue to build respectful relationships with students and families, we uphold high standards for all students, and continue to develop student interests and talents through our community connections. Any questions?
Great presentation. Thank you for all you do with the special education department.
I just wanted to comment. Thank you so much for all the data. I think it's, obvious since 2022 to 2024, you show a 10.17% increase in students being served. So just wanted to validate just our efforts to support. And I know through the Vader, being able to offer the stipends for our special ed, we're very grateful we were able to do that, and just continued conversations about being able to support this program area and these students is such an important thing for us to do. I know just being able to work with these kids and Bernie Blaze and just to see how, and so many other ministries and different avenues that these kids are connected. It's wonderful that they're in our school district, and we hope that they feel supported and continue to feel supported. With the increases, we're having student population. Sometimes it says same increases, and then some years decreases, yet the population is increasing for special ed. So we just want to make sure that y'all feel supported and continued support as we continue to increase in this student area.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Annie, thank you for the update. There's a lot of valuable information in here. There was one slide you showed with special ed enrollment trends comparing Bernie to the state, and our rate of SPED is somewhat faster than the state average. I realize you don't have the 25, 26, it's pending for the state, but if you just go from 21 through 25, we had 46% growth, and the state was like 32. No, excuse me, we had 39%, state was at 32. Not a huge difference, but is there a reason why you think we're growing faster in the SPED area than the state average?
I don't know if I have a set reason because I think it's multiple factors, but I can tell you I went back and looked at Region 20's data, and we trend right with their data for last year. And I should have put this in a graph. I apologize. We look at the 24-25. They're at Region 20 overall is at 18%, and we're sitting there at the 18.3. And then we go back to 23-24. They're at 17%. I think we're at 16 point something. So we're trending more with our local area.
Okay.
And doing that, and Region 20 is a good spot for our training purposes to make sure we're updated on evaluation and we're all being consistent. So,
Okay. Yeah. And autism, I mean, it seems like that's a national trend where there's a lot more autistic students. It's a big increase. This may be out beyond our scope of knowledge, but is there any explanation for that? Why nationwide there's such a big increase?
I think it just goes with the trends of the population of the students and what's out there going on with them. There's these three areas when you look at the autism, speech, and intellectual disabilities will ride back and forth, up and down. And keeping in mind, this is their primary disability. So there's some other kids who might have an intellectual disability with also autism as a secondary.
Okay. And then one last question. You had all the community partners down there.
Yes.
Are these firms places where our students can work after they age out of the 18 to 21 program?
It's both. It's businesses we go into now, which this is not encompassing all of them. There's more out there too. But some of them have hired our students as well too. So you might pop into one and see some of our students.
Well, I visited there one day and they were making BLT sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
They invited me to stay. I had already had lunch, but they insisted and it was very good.
Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff.
And Rich, if you don't mind, I'd like to hopefully answer from my experience with two kids that have been diagnosed this last year with dyslexia. I want to really give a shout out to the screening teams that we have at our campuses. And this is just from my experience. I think that we do a fantastic job as a district getting in front of the screening process and leading with that so we can get these kids back on track with the education that they deserve. For me personally, I was diagnosed with dyslexia and it wasn't until about third or fourth grade. And by that point, you're well behind your peers trying to play catch up. So it was a disservice to a student to be diagnosed so late. I think that screening team and I'm looking at principals out at campuses, we have people who are educated and know what dyslexia looks like at a very early age, and therefore to diagnose it and to get these kids the help they need. I applaud y'all immensely. Thank you so much, because I think that changes the lives and it keeps the kids more integrated into what a normal school day looks like. So thank you.
And the screeners go in kindergarten and first grade.
I think that's just so huge because I was talking to a parent from a different district, I think in the Austin area, and I don't think their child was diagnosed till fourth grade. I'm like, I don't think that would ever happen in Bernie. I was shocked.
Yeah. Early intervention's important, so.
This is good data for us as we start to finalize the budget for next school year as well, just to see those upward trends. So thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I had the privilege of attending the Dyslexia Neurodivergent Night. I just wanted to also let everyone know, not only are we providing service to the children, but you also attended to the whole child. Those children were up there advocating for themselves, and they are giving back to the community themselves. One gentleman, he was here earlier, created Dyslexia is Okay Day. He's a high schooler, very successful, and he's going into the middle schools now and talking to those kids who have dyslexia or have other neurodivergent and teaching them how to advocate and know what their own tools are for them. So I thought that was very impressive. Not only have you met those needs of the children, you've also built them up where they can share and be beneficial to the next generation. So thank you for all your hard work, and that was a very inspiring night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, up next we have actions, instruction. Consider approval of House Bill 3 Literacy, Math, and CCMR Plans and Goals. Ms. Munn, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, Dr. Kraft, members of the board. Tonight I'm bringing forward the annual adoption of our House Bill 3 goals, which focus on early literacy, mathematics, and college, career, and military readiness. All that I will be discussing this evening ties directly to our scorecard under student success. As required by state law, districts must establish specific measurable goals in 3 areas: early literacy, early numeracy, and college, career, and military readiness. These goals are designed to ensure continuous improvement in student outcomes and to align our work from the district level down to each campus. Early literacy and early numeracy are measured using the current year grade 3 STAR results at meets grade level or above. CCMR data, however, is reported with a 1-year lag, reflecting the performance of the previous graduating class. Additionally, all performance is reported by student groups, allowing us to monitor progress for every learner and ensure equitable outcomes across the district. The timeline for developing our HB3 goals is both structured and responsive to the release of key data. We began by reviewing the TAPER report, which is released each December and provides critical state accountability and performance data. In January, we presented an update on the progress of our current HB3 goals during the annual report meeting. Between January and February, we engaged campus leadership teams in a deeper analysis of the student data, those trends, and subgroup performance. This collaborative process allows us to refine and set goals that are both ambitious and aligned to campus realities. It is also important to note in some cases the goals are somewhat predictive. However, third graders have not yet taken or participated in a STAR test, meaning we don't have that prior testing data for comparison. And as a result, we have to use the best available data, research, and professional judgment to establish meaningful targets. Tonight's presentation represents the final step, board adoption, after which the goals will be formally posted on the district website in compliance with state law. The development of our HB3 goals follows a continuous improvement cycle grounded in 4 key phases: data analysis, goal development, alignment, and ongoing monitoring. We began with a comprehensive analysis of multiple data sources, including student performance trends, state accountability data, and subgroup outcomes. From there, we engage in thoughtful goal development, working collaboratively with district and campus leaders to establish targets that are attainable and ambitious. Once goals are developed, we ensure alignment with both the state, our district improvement plan and campus improvement plans, creating coherence between district priorities and campus level implementation. Finally, we establish structures for ongoing progress monitoring throughout the year, allowing us to track progress, make adjustments, and ensure we remain focused on improving student outcomes. Next, I'd like to share our proposed early literacy goals. Our proposed early literacy goals for the district aim to increase performance from 75 to 80% over the next 5 years. For context, the state benchmark is currently set at 60%, and the state has not yet reached that target. This places our district goals at a significantly higher level, reflecting our commitment to high expectations and continued growth for all students. Next, I'd like to share with you our proposed early numeracy goals. Our proposed early numeracy goals aim to increase performance from 69 to 74% over the next 5 years. These targets reflect our commitment to strengthening foundational math skills and ensuring steady, measurable growth for all students. Next, I'd like to share with you our proposed CCMR goals. Our current CCMR rate is 95%, and our district scorecard goal aims to reach 100% by 2028, which corresponds to the graduating class of 2027. We also plan to maintain that 100% target through the class of 2029. For the class of 2030, which is our current 8th graders, this cohort will experience the full impact of the state shift in CCMR accountability, which incorporates more rigorous standards and expectations across Texas. These goals demonstrate our commitment to preparing every student for post-secondary success, ensuring they graduate ready for college, careers, or military service. A key component of our district's commitment to student success is professional learning. Since 2021, over 300 BISD employees have completed our Texas Reading Academies, which provide 60 hours of focused, high-quality content designed to strengthen literacy instruction across all campuses. Building on this success, we will soon launch Texas Math Academies. While the Math Academies will follow a slightly different model, the goal remains the same: to equip our teachers with research-based strategies and tools to improve student outcomes in math. During the last legislative session, significant changes were made to the Texas Testing and Accountability that will impact our district moving forward. Key updates include changing from the STAR test to the Student Success Tool, or SST. Updates to those assessments and reporting requirements. We'll have an A through F rating refresh, adjustments to how campus and districts are rated under the state accountability system. And then we'll also have new CCMR requirements, which are going to be considerably more rigorous CCMR standards for student graduation. We're proactively preparing for these changes to ensure smooth implementation and continued student success. All of which I've presented as proposed goals for our district and campuses follow our core values. Data guides students for each data guides support for each students. Collaboration drives shared progress. Being transparent with our results for accountability, and how our data informs decisions to better serve all. Next steps, we're requesting board approval of the HB3 goals as presented. Approval is going to allow us to move forward with implementation and ensure compliance with state requirements for posting and monitoring progress. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great job.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you for sharing all that information, Renee. A lot of encouraging things in here. On the early child literacy, I noticed there were 2 columns for special ed. One was current and the other one was former. And the current is what it is, 52% actual in 2025 STAR, but the former is 88. What does all that mean?
Yeah, so the state monitors the progress of students in special education, actively receiving services, and then also those that are exited out of special education. The state will follow them for a number of years. And in this accountability progress report in our goals, we also want to maintain that we're following those sub-pops as well. Because we want to see that continued success of any student that is dismissed from special education and no longer requiring those services.
Well, that's good, because the numbers for former are really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Really. And the other question I had was emerging bilingual. I realize it's not all Spanish. We have 30 some odd languages in the district, but I would imagine the vast majority are Spanish. Would that group also be included under Hispanic?
It would depend on what was their, language of instruction, or not language of instruction, what their home language survey said, and then what category they fill out as far as their race and ethnicity. So I would say that you're fair to say that a majority of our emergent bilinguals in Bernie are likely going to be categorized as Hispanic, white Hispanic.
Yeah, and I realize it takes a little longer for them to get to, the level. But the reason I asked the question is the Hispanic sub-pop is a little bit behind the white or the African-American or the Asian sub-pop, but I'm wondering if that's simply because of the emerging bilingual. And if you excluded that, there would be no difference.
Perhaps.
That's kind of what I read into this. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay.
I think it's also just important for us to revisit when we look back at the early literacy and the early math goals. When you're looking at the MEETS category for the state, for the region, and Bernie ISD, I mean, this is the best story to tell. It's on your slide. We can look at this early literacy goals. The state set a goal of 60%, achieved 52%. the region achieved 50% and Bernie ISD achieved 75%. So huge congrats to our district, and we know that the teachers, the boots on the ground in the classroom with these students, like, this is amazing. And then let's go over math goals. So for the meets category, the state goal was 60%, the state achieved 46%. And then to reemphasize, the region achieved 44%, and the Bernie ISD achieved 69%. This needs to be shouted from the rooftops, how amazing our district is, our teachers are, our students are. It's amazing. This is a great report.
Thank you.
And one other question. I think having these stretch goals is awesome. I think it's great. But, 100% CCMR, I mean, that means like nobody doesn't meet it. And out of 800 graduates, bound to have one or two. So, I mean, I love the stretch goal, but let's not beat ourselves up.
I
If we're
disagree.
99
You can take the ASVAB, it's okay.
What's that?
You can take the ASVAB, it's okay.
But, I mean, but let's not shoot ourselves if we get 99.8. I mean,
That's something I'd like to know is where have we seen military readiness grow or state where I've seen a lot of numbers on certificates and people being, job ready. But what about military ready? Do we have any data to see if we've moved the bar in that field?
Well, military readiness has been a hard one for us to track because of the reporting system that the state has put into place. So historically, a lot of our military readiness was reported by parents sharing that information with us, and therefore it was really hard for the state to track and really hard, frankly, for us to track. So the state has moved towards a more structured accountability system with military readiness, and moving forward in the future, there's going to be a process where we're actually getting clear information directly from the military source.
Yeah, I was reading something, and correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that basically just a passed ASVAB score or accepted ASVAB score?
You know what, we can get more information for you on that. I have similar questions. And just as a reminder, we now get weighted funding for students enrolled in JROTC. And so we have a strong JROTC program. And Ms. Flores was talking about the ASVAB test in one of our recent meetings. So we'll get some more data for
I
you.
feel we have a very military-friendly community, and that's definitely an honored profession around here. So that 5% you say might be unattainable. I'm like, hey, I don't know.
And as a reminder, you will be getting this kind of a report every year. And so, yes, we have 5-year goals, but we'll come back to you each spring about the same time to give you a progress update.
That was actually my question. So if we approve the goals tonight, will they be subject to change every year, or for the next 5 years? The reason I'm asking that is they're at a district or a campus level, right? Each elementary school has its own goals. And, our student populations at each campus, I think, are just so diverse compared to, one campus may look totally different from the others. And that's why I appreciate that we have different goals. I guess what I worry about is that, you'd have with student population shifting within the district, you're not going to see a huge change maybe year to year, but in a 5-year period, you could see a pretty significant change where the staff on a campus could have a hard time, meeting that goal depending on how that looked. So anyways, that's just a observation, I guess.
Yes, so we will bring this back every year with updates to the data. And so it all hinges on taper. And so we get taper around Christmas time, and then we bring our report in January. And then our principals study their data. They work with their teachers and their site-based decision-making teams and work with their teachers to set the goals. And so these numbers will continue to shift every single year based on results.
Perfect.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the HB3 goals for literacy, math, and CCMR for each campus as presented.
I'm excited to second that.
Rich Sinna, motion by Rich Sinna, second by Courtney Daughter Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have business with Mr. Scott. Monthly financial report and board action on financial matters directly related to those reports, including budget amendments, donations, and tax collection reports.
Good evening, everybody. You've been provided with the statement of operations for the period ending February 28th. You have the budgetary comparison schedule report with you. The story of that report is the debt service fund. Most of our bonds have February and August pay dates, and so in our fiscal year, by February, we're substantially done at this point in time. We have one bond that'll have a $300,000 interest payment in June because they're December, June instead of August and February. But we are substantially done there. Just to note that remember that you adopted a budget to the debt service fund of $37 million in expenditures, and just under $25 million of that was dedicated to principal reduction. You've been provided with the budget amendment report. This will be the first amendment for the general fund this year. The one component of that budget amendment is an increase to TRS on behalf. Remember that on behalf is the state's contribution to the teacher retirement system on behalf of every employee as a percentage of their earnings. That is for just under $500,000. This is recognized as an increase to state revenue and as an increase to the functional expenditures. So the net effect on the on fund balance is zero. The other components of the budget amendment are functional reclassifications, where we determine that an expenditure can be better utilized under a department director in another function. An example of that is instructional coaches had been classified in function 11. We got guidance from TA that should be recognized in function 13. And so all of those functional reclassifications are just from one expenditure to another. That impact is zero. So there is a $500,000 increase to revenues and expenditures for on behalf, but the overall impact of the budget amendment is zero. You've also been provided a donation report. The district received $9,000 in donation the month of February. An example from that donation report is the Fiber PTO donating $5,000 towards the walking track restoration project, and we're thankful for all of those donations. The tax collection report this month showed that we collected $108.5 million in collections to date. We're at 94.92% of the 2025 levy that's been collected, which is just a little bit ahead of last year at this point in time. And I'd be happy to address any questions or concerns about any of these reports at this time.
Yeah, I have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
On the tax collection, last month we were about 0.5% behind the previous year, and this month we're about 0.2% ahead of last year. Is there did we get a big payment in, or what was the reasoning for that change?
I don't know the specific reason for the change. I know that when you look at the delinquent collections, there are a number of large accounts out there, and payment on any one of those could have a substantial difference.
Yeah, it must have been, because that's a pretty good shift. The other question was on the debt service fund. We've collected 99% of the expected revenue for the year, but a little bit less than 95% overall. So we're collecting a higher amount on the debt service. Is that because of investment income?
We're collecting. Yes, investment income absolutely has an impact on that.
Okay.
And remember that we've also received state revenues. We've received 100%. It was called additional state aid due to homestead exemption increases. On the debt service side, we've received 100% of that.
Because I know we will collect more property tax revenue in the coming months, particularly before June or July, when the penalties really start becoming significant. So this tells me we will probably go over the budgeted amount of debt service. Does that put us in a position to do some extra defeasance next year, or what would the result of that be?
That is one thing that we will examine is potential defeasance. Also, it couldn't hurt to slowly build fund balance in the debt service fund from the standpoint of how the bond rating agencies look at that amount. We know that they're sensitive to that amount. And as the district continues to grow, it's good to grow fund balance and debt service fund.
Okay, thank you.
That's good stuff.
West, you mentioned in answering Rick's question, some of those delinquent taxpayers are some of the larger ones. That's typically your apartment complex.
It is. It is. For whatever reason, they seem to strategically wait. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but I don't own apartment complexes.
I move to approve the budget amendments, donation report, and tax collection report as presented.
Second.
Motion by Coordinator Bruce, second by Garrett Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, future business items for our April 20th, 2026 meeting. We have strategic plan goals 1 and 4 reports, chapter 21 contracts, and quarterly investment report. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Rich Senna, second by Garrett Wilson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.